All right, joining us right now is a third-generation wrestler. He is a part of quite possibly the greatest wrestling family of all time, the Anoa'is. He is tearing up the independent scene and is probably coming to a town near you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lance Anoa'i. Lance, how's it going, man?
I was doing great, man. Just enjoying life day by day.
Awesome.
Just got back from Florida being with the family, so now I'm ready to start going back up here, up on the East Coast.
Awesome.
All right. Now, obviously, as a third-generation wrestler, the business has always been in your blood. What are your earliest memories of professional wrestling?
Growing up, man, as a child, I was always a wrestling fan, but I never wanted to do it. This was something I never wanted to do. I always just enjoyed watching my family, watching my dad, my grandfather run his company. I was always a baseball player growing up. Football, basketball, but baseball was my main sport. But I used to always travel with my father when he was on the road when I was a kid, especially when he'll go like cross country. He always take me, put me on his suitcase, wheel me to the locker room, and now like it's strange because now everywhere I go, I'm working like guys he's been in the ring with, and now they can't even believe like I'm the one that was sitting on my dad's suitcase, and they're actually like working with me.
That's great.
But it's cool, man. Like even traveling like with my grandfather, going to different places like when WWE and meeting all these superstars. Just as a kid, it was so amazing, and I felt blessed.
Definitely. Now, you no doubt spent a lot of time on the road with your family, but did you ever feel kind of pressured to get into the business, or did you just make that decision on your own?
No, I never felt pressured. When I was a senior in high school, I decided, I was like, hey, baseball really ain't there. I didn't get looked at by no colleges or anything, so then I always knew wrestling would be there for me because my whole family done it, and then I just started taking it serious and started telling my family, like, this is what I want to start doing. I'm going to start training, working hard, and be the best I can be and just carry on the lineage. So, yeah, right before I even finished high school, I had my first match, and then from there, I just kept going. But there was no pressure at all. Like, no one tried to push me into doing it. They wanted me to do elsewhere because wrestling will always be there.
Okay, now, once you did make that decision, who helped you kind of break into the business?
It was mainly my father. My father, Samu, he was the one. He took over the school in Pennsylvania that my grandfather owned, and then my grandfather packed up, went to the warm weather in Florida, opened up his own school in Florida. So then I just started training here in Allentown, and then I trained in Jersey, I trained in New York with House of Hardcore. I just taking in all this knowledge, but mainly it was my dad and my uncle Alpha Jr.
Sure. Now, do you think your dad was a little bit tougher on you than any other trainees?
No, yeah. My dad, he always wants me to do the best I can. Like, he could tell when I'm slacking or if I do something wrong. Me and my dad definitely had different styles of wrestling. My dad's more of a savage, but he definitely was tougher than a lot. Like, Dreamer was also a good one, especially a lot of knowledge from. I got a lot of knowledge from Dreamer. He helped me out, but my dad, man, he just pushed me to the limit. Like, I would be the first one in, doing squats, just warming up with everybody, and then the last one to leave, and I'm just drenched. I could probably go through like 2 shirts a training session just full of sweat.
You obviously we talked a little bit about how amazing your family lineage is, but what's the greatest piece of advice? I mean, all those wrestling minds out there in your family, but what's the greatest piece of advice that you've received from any of your family about the wrestling business?
Always be humble. Everywhere you go, just show how humble you are. Like, everywhere I go, every company I've been to, everyone always came up to me. They always expect, like, I'm not a big name or I'm nothing. I've just come from a great family, and they always expect, especially my first time in town, they always expect something different out of me. And I'm just like one of them, man. I'm just here, have a good time, do what I love to do what they love to do. Like, it's just a good time. And then always the feedback I get is how humbled I am. And that's just something I always want to stay. I always want it to be. So that was always the greatest advice that my grandfather, my father, Rikishi, the Usos. It was just always there just to stay humble.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Now, Lance, do you remember your first match? And is there anything maybe you remember the most about it?
My very first match I had in my hometown, Allentown, Pennsylvania. We built it before because in Pennsylvania you can't wrestle unless you're 18 years old. Mm-hmm. So I had to wait till my 18th birthday. So we built the story all the way from when I started training all the way up to my first match. And it was against the Dynamic Sensation, or he goes by the Drunken Swashbuckler or something like that in New Jersey. But, it was my very first match, and just the feeling coming out that curtain and having all my friends and family there to watch me perform my very first wrestling match. It was pretty awesome. Especially with my dad and my Uncle Alpha just there managing me during the process also.
Awesome.
It's awesome. Now, we mentioned, and you said it too, that you're on the independents now, and independent wrestling has never been, hotter than right now. You've been out on the scene for a while. You've wrestled a lot of different places. Where have some of your favorite places to wrestle been so far?
I enjoy everywhere I go. I learn from everyone I wrestle, but my favorite is got to be, I love wrestling for my father in WXWC4, my grandfather in WXW, Rikishi and out in Territory League. That's the family one. But Maryland Championship Wrestling, which is a huge one now, who's even gaining more exposure. House of Hardcore, I love working for. Dreamer's a great guy and helped me out a lot. Pro Wrestling Syndicate, which is now, it's Pro Wrestling Syndicate, but now Wrestle Pro, especially the guys in both companies. They helped me out. And then I started doing some training down in Ring of Honor with Delirious, and Delirious also been helping me out with a lot of stuff. So, honestly, everywhere I go, I love the knowledge I learn from everybody and just go in there with respect and just learn.
Sure. And now, on the indie scene, have you ever felt that you were treated maybe differently due to your family status in wrestling, or has everybody just been treating you, fair, pretty much?
No, I feel like I've been treated fair. Like, I've been to, I forget what company I was. They tried to give me my own separate locker room, and I just felt like awkward. Like, I don't want my own locker room. I'm one of the boys. I'm here just like everyone else. I'm here making a name for myself. Yeah. Like I said, the family made the name, but it's me that's doing it for myself as Lance. I'm carrying the Anoa'i name, but I got to make my name as Lance out there. Mm-hmm. And I just haven't been treated different, just maybe that one time, but that was about it. Like, I'm one of the boys just like everybody else.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned Ring of Honor and a lot of different places. Are there any promotions or companies that you haven't got to work for that you'd like to work for?
Definitely. I've been trying to be in contact with CZW down in New Jersey. I've been trying to get on the Evolve. I've been trying to get in across country in the UK. I try to get to Japan. There's just a bunch of different companies. Like, there's a lot of top companies I would like to go to. It's hard with work schedule because my real job is real tough. But, yeah, those are the main ones. Evolve, man. Like, they're blowing up. CZW blowing up. WXW out in Germany. New Japan. Oh, there's so many other. I even want to go to NEW in Connecticut. It's just, there's so many out there. Mm-hmm. And Wildcat for Luke Hawks. But it's just so tough with my job. So as of right now, I'm just living day by day, enjoying life.
Now, also, are there some people, too, that you'd like to wrestle that you haven't got a chance to out there?
People that I would like to wrestle, a lot of guys. Adam Cole always been my number one guy. I always want to work that. Never got to work. He used to come and wrestle down here in Allentown for my grandfather. And it's just, now watching him grow from that to where he's at in Ring of Honor, it's just someone I always want to wrestle now. So hopefully one day I'll be able to get in the ring with him There's also Ricochet, who I would like to work with. Sammy Callahan. There's just so many other names like that I would love to work with.
All right.
But yeah, Adam Cole is definitely the number one who I would love to work.
Awesome. Now, a lot of people probably know this, but some people may not. You've also done some work for WWE. Have you had much contact with them lately? And would you be willing to go down to NXT if they had offered something to you?
If they offered me NXT, of course I would not turn it down. I would take it just like probably anyone else that's out here. This is what we do. This is what we live for. We want to make it to the top, and NXT is the next step. So yes, I would take it. And I've done work with WWE. I've been an extra. I've been a Rosebud a few times. I wrestled the Ascension on SmackDown. I've been down to the Performance Center for a 4-day tryout evaluation. I've been there. I traveled with them for a whole week, just doing extra work. I love it. I felt every time I was there, it just felt right. It felt like I was home, and that's somewhere where I want to work to. I'm getting to.
Sure. Now, WWE, that's pretty much the end game for a lot of people. That's the place they want to be. Is that your biggest hope in accomplishing as far as regards to your wrestling career, getting up there?
If I never make it to WWE, I will continue doing what I do now, working the indies. If I don't ever make it there, I would like to wrestle in New Japan, if I could stay in New Japan. If not, Ring of Honor, which are the top companies right now. And if I don't like WWE is not the end of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to work there. I would love to work there. I would love to be under contract. But I'm just going to continue to do what I love, and that's wrestling.
That's awesome. Now, what's been, like, you've had a pretty lengthy career already, even though you're still pretty young, but what's been the best part of your wrestling career so far?
And the best part of my wrestling career is March 1st of 2014. I begged my grandfather to come out of retirement so I could wrestle with him. So we had me, him, my dad, and my two uncles. We were in a 10-man tag, and it was just probably the best thing I could have asked for, just being 24 years old and being able to be in the ring with my family, especially my grandfather. That was probably the best thing that could happen to me.
Sure. Now, speaking of your family, if you could have a match with any one of them, who'd you choose to wrestle?
Out of my family?
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Man. That's a tough question. It'd probably be... Dang, I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
No worries.
I'll go one-on-one with every one of them. I think we put on a hell of a show and entertain the fans, whoever I'm in the ring with.
Absolutely.
But right now, I'm looking to try to tag with the Tonga Kid's son, Jacob Fatu. He was trained by Rikishi in Black Pearl out in the West Coast, and now he's finally coming over here to the East Coast. So now I'm trying to get the opportunity to tag with him. We're about the same age, and he's just trying to make some noise out here. And as I am, I'm trying to make noise on the West Coast. So now we're going to try a little tag teaming out here.
Okay.
See how it goes. Young Samoan tag team.
Yeah. The mild Samoans. Speaking of someone in your family tree, we have to talk about this gentleman, Roman Reigns. He's obviously related to you. And what are your thoughts on how the fans kind of treat him right now? Obviously, he's a great wrestler, a great talent. He's put in his time, but some of the fans don't agree with that statement. So what are your thoughts about that?
Roman, he's a hell of a worker. I think now with him being up there with all the top guys that were once top indie guys, and they're putting him in the ring with them, and him not being an indie guy ever is kind of tough on him. But I believe that he's working fine. He's doing what he got to do. He's supporting his family. And whether fans like him or not, he's still out there performing day in and day out and representing the Samoan dynasty.
Definitely. Now, Lance, where can fans see you in action next? Anything coming up you want to plug?
Shoot, I've been so busy working, but I would be in WXW C4 at the 25th. I actually took this weekend off for personal reasons, but the 25th in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. I'll also be in Florida for Epic Championship Wrestling in July 2nd, and the 9th I will be in Hazleton, Pennsylvania for PPW. And as of right now, that's a few of them listings. I have to look in my calendar. I know I'm in Florida a few days of the month. So, yeah, just been staying busy, man, with my shoot job.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, obviously, social media is a huge part of professional wrestling these days. Where can fans keep up with you? I'm sure you've got Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. Where can people find you?
I got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All the names are Lance Anoa'i. The last name is ANOA''I. And that's where you can find me on all Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, Lance. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you nothing but the best in your future career. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys.